Get peace of mind with the RV Advisor's extended warranty for as low as $14 per month. Visit thervadvisor.com today.
This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. My name's Tom Alexander, and today I'm joined by the CEO of Mudflap, the new exciting app that you have to hear about. He is Sanjay Desai. And Sanjay, welcome.
Great to be here, Tom.
Well, it's great to have you because this is really, really interesting. I believe this may be the very first time we've had someone on who's kind of created an app and there's a buzz around it and everything else. Tell us about, first of all, what it does and the origin of Mudflap.
Absolutely. So the Mudflap app, we saw an opportunity, and really it was a genesis of myself and my co-founder at Mudflap working at a previous technology company called TruckerPath. And so TruckerPath, we had an opportunity to help build what became the most popular mobile app among truckers in the US. Mm-hmm. And through that experience, we learned a lot about the needs of the trucking market in particular, and specifically independent owner operators that are sort of running their own trucking company, driving themselves. And what we saw there is they were having a really hard time being able to save on diesel fuel the way that the larger fleets were. Mm-hmm. And so eventually we got to a point where we realized there was a real opportunity to help that segment of the market, and left TruckerPath to start Mudflap. And so what we do with the Mudflap app is make it really easy for anyone with a diesel-powered vehicle, whether it's a truck or an RV or a pickup, to be able to save on diesel fuel. And as opposed to having to rely on fuel cards, which may or may not give you a meaningful discount, but there's a lot of hassle to go apply and secure a fuel card, even if you do. We make it really quick and easy to be able to save. So you can go ahead to either the App Store or Google Play, download the Mudflap app. It's free. And literally within the course of 90 seconds, you can be set up in the app to be able to go save on your next diesel purchase. And you can do that across several hundred truck stops and fuel locations across the country already, and we continue to add new locations every week.
Wow. And the name Mudflap, I guess we all know what a Mudflap is. Following a truck anywhere, a big truck or something, you'll know what it is. But where'd you find, how did the name come to you?
Yeah, it's great. It's actually a funny story because we originally were skeptical about Mudflap as the company's name and the product's name because we weren't sure it was quote unquote serious enough. And so we actually tested several different names for the company and for the product, and it turned out that folks really just loved the name Mudflap, that emotional connection to it. It's kind of a fun, whimsical name for a company and for a product. And everyone, whether they certainly know Mudflaps on vehicles, the Mudflap girl, et cetera. So, it's right. A term that's been out there. And so as opposed to more kind of corporate sounding names, Mudflap really stood out as a name that the customers of the product really gravitated towards.
Can you share with us a couple of names that were on the docket and maybe had a shot but didn't get approved?
Sure, I would say that the sort of the runner-up in the naming process was the name Truck Fortune. So the idea was you could save a fortune using the product, and you could help kind of build your fortune, right? Mm-hmm. If you were out there with a trucking company. So that was another name that we were considering. The other one that I think we gave serious thought to was a name lane ace. And so in trucking, you've got the idea of lanes, right? That the drivers kind of traverse across the country. And so this was a way to kind of ace being able to travel those lanes.
Right.
So we're glad when it's all said and done, we landed on Mudflap.
Yeah, Mudflap is it's easy to remember. It's easy to say.
Yeah.
And, and it sticks. It's one of those things that just sticks. And it sounds like something that it's almost like it's been around a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just has one of those things that, it just connects. So kudos to coming up with Mudflap and getting it to stick, and stick it has. People are really, really digging this thing. They're seeing how it's advantageous to saving money.
Yeah. The reaction and reception for the market's been excellent, and we're really excited to see more and more folks learning about Mudflap, whether it's in the trucking market, whether it's in the RV market.
Yeah.
We're even seeing folks using Mudflap while they're driving their commercial vehicle, but then they're also using it for their diesel vehicle during their personal time. So, variety of different use cases that are popping up. But it's what I think it's validated is that the bar's been far too high for folks to be able to save on fuel. The opportunity has been there before, but you've either needed to be part of a larger fleet or go through a process of getting a fuel card. And so this idea that anyone can go ahead and download an app and be saving within a couple of minutes, that concept's really resonated.
Our guest is Sanjay Desai. He is the CEO of Mudflap, and they're based in the Bay Area in Northern California, in the Palo Alto area. And a lot of technology there, that's for sure. That is quite the corridor when it comes to a lot of things that we use and are very familiar with worldwide. So you're in good space out there in the Bay Area, that's for sure. Let's take a quick break, and we'll return with more with Sanjay Desai right after these words.
The RVACA is a charitable organization protecting the rights of the RV owners. We'll work with dealers and manufacturers to ensure quality control is in place prior to delivery of an RV. Additionally, the RVACA provides assistance to disaster relief victims. Visit rvaca.org.
We are back on the RV Advisor podcast. My name is Tom Alexander, and my guest today is Sanjay Desai from Mudflap. It's a new app, relatively new app that helps you save money if you're a trucker. It is something you really, if you haven't heard of it, now you have, and you need to get it. But your background, obviously you're a technology guy, and tell us a little bit about your pre-Mudflap days.
Sure. Yeah. So most recently, before Mudflap, I was part of another technology company called Trucker Path, where really that's where I learned about the trucking market and the problems in this market, especially for the smaller trucking companies, whether it's owner operators or small fleets. Before that, had a chance to work at several different technology companies outside of the trucking market. And for me, it's been, I'm the kind of person that really likes to learn new things. And so every few years, I found myself kind of gravitating towards learning about a different market. And I find it a lot of fun. And then early in my career, completely different life, where I was part of the television businesses at Disney. And so got a chance to learn about what it's like to be part of a Fortune 50 company, and I'm trying to grow a much larger business, than a technology startup. So have had a chance to kind of see both sides of it.
Wow. What did you do at Disney? What kind of work did you do there?
Yeah, so I was focused on the business side there, and so part of the strategy and business operations group there focused on Disney's television network, so the ABC network, ESPN, all of the broadcast and cable networks that Disney owned.
Right. Wow. So a lot of responsibility, to say the least. I'm sure you had busy days, probably not just 9 to 5. I'm sure that you were always
Yeah,
in work mode around the clock.
that's right. Yeah, no, Disney was a very intense experience, but probably my favorite company that I've ever been a part of. I would say certainly prior to starting Mudflap,
Yeah.
it was just great people, and I think what I learned there was this sort of maniacal commitment to delivering a great customer experience. It's obviously what Disney's known for, whether it's across movies, TV, theme parks, any aspect of the company. There really was a culture of sweating every single detail to make sure you delivered an amazing customer experience every time.
Right.
And that's something that we try to take into our culture at Mudflap, is really kind of think about how we can make the experience a great one every time you use our product.
Yeah. We're not too far here in South Florida from the theme parks up in Orlando, and we've heard all the stories about how exacting all the details are at the theme parks, and including Disney. And so, I'm sure. But like you said, you're kind of bringing that sort of spirit and attention to detail with Mudflap, and that's absolutely fantastic. And why don't you share with folks a little bit about if they're unfamiliar, where they can get it,
Sure.
and sort of the quick and dirty benefits of downloading it on your phone.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So the nice thing is it's available on both the iPhone and Android platforms. So you can download it on the Apple App Store or Google Play. And once you've downloaded it, very simple. It takes about 30 seconds to sign up for the product. Sign up is free. And once you've signed up, you have complete access to be able to see all of the fuel stops that are part of the Mudflap network. And there's several hundred at this point across the country. And so you can toggle across the map and search. You can even search by route if you're looking to find what fuel stops are available from point A to point B that you could save at. Once you find a fuel stop you'd like to buy fuel at, what's great about the app is there's no need to wait, so you can start to save immediately. So we don't require a credit check. There's no commitment. There's no contract. All you do is you just add a form of payment, and we accept any debit or credit card as form of payment. You'll clearly see what the pump price is at that fuel stop. And then right next to that, you'll see what the Mudflap discounted price is. And that's basically the price you can pay if you purchase through the app. So once you've added your debit or credit card, just like you would an Uber app or a DoorDash app, now it's in there and securely saved for any future purchases you make. So you just add it once. And then you can go ahead and buy fuel for your next fill up. And there's a simple button that you tap. And once you tap that button to say, hey, I'd like to buy this fuel stop, you get what's called a fuel code. And a fuel code is just a simple 5-digit code that you go ahead and show to the cashier at that fuel stop. And the cashier then immediately knows you're a Mudflap customer and just goes ahead and turns the pump on for you. And once the pumps start on, you just go ahead and pump your fuel just as you normally would. There's no restrictions. You can pump as few or as many gallons as you'd like. And then once you're done, you can just go ahead and on your way. You can get a paper receipt from the fuel stop if you'd like, but there's no requirement to do that. Mudflap will always email you a receipt after every purchase. There's even a PDF attached to that if you'd like to print it off. And then you're set. And you've depending on the fuel stop, the discounts can obviously range from anywhere from 10, 15, 20 cents all the way up to per gallon, to there's some fuel stops in the network where you can save 50 to 60 cents a gallon. And so those savings, if you're pumping 50, 100, 150 gallons, start to really add up.
Yeah, that's for sure. Lots of savings, and who doesn't want that? So, it's pretty great. Mudflap is the name of the app. Again, it's Mudflap, one word, Mudflap. And that's it. It's, easy to check out. Again, it's on your Android, it's on your iPhone, and big savings ahead if you're a trucker. That's pretty awesome. Sanjay Desai, we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'd love to hear more about it down the road as Mudflap grows.
Thanks, Tom. Really appreciate it.
This is the RV Advisor Podcast. Back in a moment. The RVACA is a charitable organization protecting the rights of RV owners. With your help, we'll work with dealers and manufacturers to ensure quality controls in place prior to delivery of an RV. Additionally, the RVACA provides assistance to disaster relief victims. Visit RVACA.org. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. And of course, as always, I've got our good friend, our guest coordinator, we couldn't do anything without her. It's Neve Carey Zaka. Hey, Neve, how are you?
Hey, Tom. I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. And, obviously, we're coming down the stretch here. We're rounding the corner, rounding the clubhouse turn, as they say in horse racing.
Yes.
And
Yes,
making a mad dash toward 2021, which we hope will be a better year.
Here's hoping. I mean, it can only get better, one would hope.
It's got to, right? So
it's got to.
But but I know that we've got some plans. Tell us about. I know we've got a couple partnerships looming, and we're gonna do some cool social media stuff with them. And as always, we've got the RV Odd Couple as well.
Yes, the RV Odd Couple has our hearts. We have such fantastic partnership with them. We love them so much and are forever grateful for trusting us from the beginning. It's been a super successful partnership with them, and since then, we have had other companies like RV related, travel related, that would like to join us. We're super excited. 2021 is set to be very successful. We've a few in the works right now. I don't want to name any names until everything is solidified, but yeah, just here to let everyone know that we are continuing to grow our partnerships to expand in what we can provide our members in benefits, and what we can provide our partners in benefits. So yeah, it's set to be a really exciting year, Tom. I'm really happy with how it's going.
Yeah, it's great. And of course, if anybody watching wants to learn more about everything the RV Advisor can do for you as a member, if you don't have a membership, just visit the site, the RVAdvisor.com. The RVAdvisor.com. And also, we Gigi and I talk about this a lot on the Just Ask Gigi show, and that is RVACA.org, RVACA.org, and I know you know what that is.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, while we're on here, for anyone that's watching that is interested in joining us or becoming a partner, we are always open to new relationships. Drop us an email, message us on our social media platforms, reach out to us via the RVACA or the RV Advisor, and we would be more than happy to jump on a call or correspond via email, whatever works. We're just trying to expand the community here and help where we can.
Absolutely. And for those folks who haven't gone on to see RVACA.org, just go to that site, RVACA.org. And what you can do is you can even help out with the folks fighting COVID on the front lines, our first responders. our medical personnel, and I know that's near and dear to your heart, Neve.
It sure is. It sure is. It's a great cause. Yes,
Yeah,
it's a great
it certainly
cause.
is. It certainly is. And so if you have an RV you can lend temporarily, of course, to folks fighting the COVID as a isolation unit, awesome. That would be awesome. Or if you just prefer to leave a donation, that is also incredibly helpful to those folks fighting COVID on the front lines, because it's not over yet, folks. Yes, we are vaccines on its way, but we're still a few months away, and it's going to take some time. So it's not going to be here overnight. So there's still a lot of work to be done, but brighter days ahead.
Brighter days ahead. Yeah, I mean, Gigi, through her organization, has helped even personal friends of mine through the very kind donation of our memberships and members and followers. So, I mean, yeah, every penny counts. Every penny counts. So we can continue to help and grow people within that community.
Absolutely. Well, Neve, thanks again for coming on. It's always great to see you, and I know that you're working on some great guests coming up here as we wind down 2020 and streamline toward 2021.
Yes,
so,
super excited.
We'll have some more guests, and there you go, folks. Interested in coming on the pod, she's the person you speak with. It's Neve Carey-Zacco. Thanks, Neve. We'll talk to you again next time.
Thank you. Have a lovely day.
Likewise. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.